Now a much more modern machine here. Little Ginetta G33. Ginettas have been so successful in competition over 30 years. Let's all remember the G12. Remember Willie Green in one of those? Absolutely magic. Now we go on board with Peter Heron and his Austin Healey Sprite. One of the original bug-eyed sprites. Nice. Oh, and he loses it. Has a big moment indeed, Peter Heron. No harm done, but a terrible time, of course, for Peter Heron now. In sprinting, you can't afford to make the slightest mistake. Peter Heron gets back underway. A lot of these cars, of course, used regularly on the road. You see our little onboard camera there, perched up on the roll cage. Just saw the finish time there for Peter Heron. Now we're down into the single-seaters. This is Ray Turney in a 1997 Van Diemen. Sure, this car has got quite a racing history behind it. Nice to see such a big crowd coming to Crystal Palace as well. This is the Jedi Formula 600. On Wheelbase Club last year we featured the Formula 600 category. Here's Bev Comber. And moving quickly on to Roger Gould in an Austin 7 Sports pre-war machine. All stripped down without the mudguards on. And this is Norman Goodwin in the Bugatti 35B, Type 35B. Glorious smells coming out of that car. And one of the most expensive machines here. And from the sublime, maybe to the ridiculous, Alan Springett in his Ford Mustang. A Boss Mustang, a nice sounding machine too. Threading his way around this difficult track and past North Tower Corner. A GSM Delta, South African built originally if I remember. Sean McClurg. These cars were very competitive in the early 1970s in the 1 litre class of GT racing. Used to race against the Sprites and the Turners. And still in immaculate condition, very pretty little car. And Sean locking up after the end of the run against Steve Luscombe in his MG Midget. Quite a modified midget, this one, in dark green. And he crosses the finish line. Now we're on to the single-seaters. 111 is William Taylor in the Lotus 20. Now William's quite a historian, has written books about Lotus. And in the immaculate team Lotus colours, the yellow wheels and the nice green bodywork through North Tower there. Paul Sleeman in the Macon MR8. Now Paul's got a long racing history behind him, very quick in this car. A regular at Brands Hatch. I think he must have taken part in a number of Formula Ford festivals over the years. Now, nice Brabham BT18, David Crowther here. Beautiful in the Winkleman Racing Team colours. Not sure which engine that's got. Certainly not the 1 litre Formula 2 that it came with originally. Steve Courts here. He's sharing that Lotus 20 with William Taylor, and he has an off and very nearly collects the scaffolding pole. On to the Escorts. Roy Edwards in the Escort Twin Cam, a Mark 1. Got a Monte Carlo rally plate and takes to the grass into the bargain. Terry, oh, they're all taking that shortcut now. Terry Seals, and completely out of control. Terry Seals in his RS2000, over exuberance par excellence. And chastened, he heads off. Now here is a very, very interesting car indeed. This is actually a Lotus 22. Yes, it might look a little like a BRM H16, and indeed it was built to look like that for the film Grand Prix. Remember James Garner starring that film? This was the car that was driven by the mythical character Scott Stoddard for what was called the Jordan team before anybody had ever heard of Eddie Jordan go on board in this Lotus 22. Great to see this car still running, sold off by the makers of the film at an auction afterwards. And driver Jim Bennett can tell us more.
Well, this car is one of the fake BRM Formula One cars that Jim Russell made up for the movie Grand Prix. In the beginning of the movie, James Garner is driving for BRM, and then he unfortunately puts his teammate into Monaco Harbor, and so he gets fired, and he switches teams, and so he started out in this car, and then this actual body work we think was used in the Monza racing scene, the climactic scene at the end of the movie.
And how did you come by this car?
I was over here a couple of years ago at Bewley at the Auto Jumble, and I had a pass to get me in the day early, and when all the good stuff's still there, and I saw a little sign on the side of a guy's truck, and I waited around till he came back. He pulled it out. I said, "How much?" He told me. I said, "I'll take it." We put it up on the roof of his truck, and people tried to buy it all weekend then. So it's been the car that came with it, such that there was a car, has been under restoration off and on for the last 2 years. This is the first time it's been taken out.
Yeah, terrific story there. Lovely to see that car again. I well remember